Welcome to None First Podcast, episode 18. This is the home of sports talk for everyone. I'm David.
I'm Jason.
Welcome aboard. Now, last week we had a special edition for us. So, of course, we labeled it 17.5, being we always do every other week. But we would love to give a big thank you to Brad and Brig of Baseball Together for joining us. That was awesome for them to come on. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah, I think we cried so much just of laughing so hard.
To quote Brad, my face hurt
Yeah,
from laughing so much. Two really awesome guys, and I'm glad they took some time to come on and hang out with us last week. And yeah, it was a really good time. Really had a lot of fun.
Yeah, now some of the merchandise they were talking about from 9 Plus Us, I just ordered my hat, so it should be coming here shortly. So go out to 9 Plus Us and get your stuff.
Yeah, I have obviously you guys have seen my 9 Plus Us hat. Super comfortable. I'm with Flex Fit because normally that's what I wear. But obviously tonight I got a Philly snapback because it's new. Real quick, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who takes time out of their day to listen to us. David and I have both been getting a lot of really great feedback, and I can't tell you how much it means to us. I hope you don't mind me speaking out of turn here for you, but
Oh, go ahead.
I know I personally have gotten some messages from people who've listened to where they've learned about things listening to us, to where they love our conversational style, how it feels like they're sitting in on a conversation with us. That stuff means a lot because really we're just two best friends talking nonsense for an hour and a half to an hour every other week, and you guys choose to listen to us. So the feedback always means a lot, and thank you for just being our listeners and supporting us. It means the world.
Thank you. So on that note, let's go off to period 1. Youth sports. Now I know this can always be a controversial topic for who knows X amount of people, but
it might be, and this might be my fault.
Well, no, I mean, even with your kids, I mean, Gianna's in softball now?
Softball, yeah. Well, this is something I've wanted to get into before softball season started up. It's just it really hasn't been a good time to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, now with spring coming around, there's a lot of things going on. I know Kylie, she always did soccer. Emma did cheerleading. Now this year, they're both doing cheerleading this year, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think youth sports have taken a different direction right now on what it used to be.
That's something I always think about, especially at like Gianna's softball practices, which I want to state for the record, her coaches this year are awesome. That's good. She has 3 really good coaches, and the way they are with the kids is phenomenal. But like the comparison, like with me and some of the other dads, and I think you can vouch for the same thing. When we played youth baseball, we weren't playing to go to the Little League World Series. We weren't even affiliated with the Little League World Series in those days. It was really just like town ball. You were playing your town teams, right?
Yeah.
Like I can remember being an 8-year-old on a team of 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12-year-olds playing against the other town teams. And now the big thing is to either be with Little League World Series or Cal Ripken / Babe Ruth baseball. And it's so much more competitive now than, I mean, maybe I thought back then we were competitive because it was all about bragging rights in school. You know?
Oh yeah.
When you're playing your classmates every other day, there's more bragging rights than it is anything else. But I think the emphasis on being so competitive takes away of the fun and the learning of the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, even nowadays, it's turning into a. It's turning to a. Is this my parent wants to be involved? Fine, great, fantastic. But let the kid play. because I've been to, oh my goodness, well, all of Kylie's soccer games where parents are like almost yelling at the kids because they missed the ball, their kids. Or when I played hockey, games before ours were high school games. Parents screaming at the kids and coaches at the game. It's like, let them play. Just they're having fun. Let them go. They win, they win. They don't, they don't. They're just trying to have some fun here. And to me, it just gets to be a bit much. Where I know me personally, a lot of people may not think this, but like again, we said this could be a controversial topic. I think parents or adults in general, if they start screaming and yelling, even at officials, kids, coaches, they need to be removed from the game itself, because there's no need for that.
Right. No, and I agree with that. A lot of things I look at with youth sports, and and we're both products of youth sports growing up. I always kind of compare it to my grandfather's basketball league he ran in our school, in our area.
That was awesome with the way he did it.
Yeah, he ran it the right way. Every kid had to play.
Oh yeah, well, not just that. There was a timer. After so many minutes, and the kids that were on the court came off. A new set went out.
Right, exactly. Every kid played.
It didn't matter where the ball was. It didn't matter what was going on. As soon as that buzzer went, everybody's changed, which I thought was the way to do it, because everybody played, everybody got to have fun. Everyone
learned the basics of the game.
Perfect.
And you can remember as much as I do, it was almost like a rite of passage at that time to hit fourth grade and to play in the basketball league. Like that was,
yeah, you had to.
You looked forward to it when you hit fourth grade and you're like, I can play basketball.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you said, it's just something that it taught you the basics. It taught you team. It taught you the way teamwork should be.
Yes, that's a big thing. It was teamwork. It was all about the team. That was a big deal. I actually told him that we're going to end up talking about his league, and he had to laugh. He's like, I love that. That's great.
No, I mean, it was a great league. I think I did 2 years in it. And it was literally just that, where there was no championship at the end. It was all just everybody just having a good time, everybody having fun. You learned teamwork, you learned fair play, and that's what it was.
Right.
I mean, unless there was a championship again, it's fourth grade. It's kind of been some time.
Oh no, I remember we kept track of we, as in like the players on the teams I was on, we always kept track of our wins and losses. So, but again, it goes back to youth baseball bragging rights.
Oh yeah, that was the same thing, because you're like you said, you're playing your friends. You didn't know whose team you were going to be on. Where baseball, it was where where you lived, because they always drew the lines.
Yeah. Another thing, like I think about, and it's stuff like with coworkers and the stories they tell me, is travel ball's a big thing now, where these kids are like playing baseball and softball, spring, summer, fall. There's winter ball. Like, you're running these kids into the ground.
Well, not just that. I mean, think how much money the parents are paying out for this.
But it's all to get looked at by this team or by that team, and to
colleges and things like that.
And here's the thing. Not every kid is going to make it to the majors. And some of these kids, like I've read articles on this, some of these kids who play travel ball year round end up blowing their arms out as pitchers by the age of 15.
I believe
because they're so overworked.
Or just not even that. I mean, just they play it that much and they're pushed to do it.
Yeah, at some point they lose the love of the game.
Exactly, and that's what's killing it. I mean, you see these players that, well, let's just use Little League, for example. All these kids that just go out, play it, have some fun. Now with the traveling and everything else, they get pushed to the max, and they're just like, why do I want to do this? I'm done.
Yeah, and it kills it for them.
and they just walk away from the game of baseball altogether, not even just becoming a fan of it. It's like they see it, they're just like, I don't want to do this then. And that's what kills it. And that's what, I think, like we said last week, we need more fans are needed for baseball, more younger fans. And players look up, little league players look up to these big, to the pros. But when you got parents that keep pushing, it's just going to kill this. It's just going to kill it for them.
Yeah.
And the fact that some of these parents think they're going to the pros tomorrow, they're going to, get a contract, they're getting the championship. I saw a post online. It says, I'm a kid. It's just a game. My coach is a volunteer. The umps are humans. No college scholarships will be handed out today. I think that's one of the perfect things that should be at football stadiums, baseball stadiums, just for these parents. Because some of these parents go a little overboard.
Yeah, well, so from my experience with helping coach softball, sometimes it's the coaches too. We played a team so they had a girl on first base. Now these are 7 year old girls. I think we might have had a 6-year-old on our team just because we didn't have enough for a 7U team, right? Or an 8U team. And a throw was made to our first baseman, and it was an overthrow. They're, again, 9 years old, right? This other team told the girl just to keep running. They didn't tell her to take second. They told her to run as long as she could until we threw her out.
That's kind of ridiculous.
That's horrible sportsmanship, first off. But then you're drilling into these poor girls' heads that winning is everything immediately. They're just learning the game. These kids are going to make mistakes, and you're punishing one team because their girls made a mistake and rewarding your team based on that mistake. You couldn't just let them take the extra bag like they're supposed to. No, you made sure the girl scored. Like, well, that's poor sportsmanship, and to me, that's bad coaching.
Well, not just that. I mean, think about what you just said there. Like there's on an overthrow, take the next bag as you're supposed to. Not just, isn't that the normal rule where an overthrow, you get the next base? Whether, an overthrow is second, you get the next base. Unless they throw again and overthrow, okay, then, if it keeps going. No,
it was literally in the amount of time it took our first baseman or first base lady to miss the ball, run and get it, and come back. That girl, they already sent her home. From first to home on an overthrow.
Wow. I mean, well, like you said, a lot of these coaches are out for blood.
But these are young kids learning the sport.
Oh, yeah, it should be fun for them. And like you said, they're going to be drilled. Winning is everything. If they don't win, well, then that's the end of the game for them. Because they figure they lost, they're not going to be able to look their dad or their mom or their coach in the face.
Again, because
that's coaching. All drilled. Well, because that's all they learned. That's all they learned is to win, to drill that into them. And they're not going to – these kids who don't win then, that are drilled this, aren't going to be able to – I mean, think about their self-esteem. That they're going to feel like if I don't win, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to get anything. I'm not going to be that good.
I can flat out tell you one of the players on our team that year asked me and the other coach if we suck.
That's a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just.
Yep, that's what you
not right.
But that's what you deal with when you have youth sports coaches who care more about winning than teaching sportsmanship and the fundamentals of the game for children who are like 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 years old.
Yeah.
Well,
here's the thing. It's not just the coach, it's also the parents too. Some of these parents think like I just read that little post, think that their child's going to the next level within a day or two when the parent is yelling at the coach, who is a volunteer, just trying to teach these kids the fundamentals, just trying to teach these kids fair play.
Right.
You know, some of these parents are pushing that. Some of these parents, it's win or go home. And once again, that draws the child to, if I don't win, how do I face them? How do I face my parents?
And you know where I've probably seen that more than any youth sport? Youth football.
I can see that.
I'm not saying all youth football parents are like that. I'm not saying all youth coaches are like that. But there is definitely a vibe to some parents that they are vicariously living through their kids.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that.
Well, you've been to them too, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Sitting in the stands, you hear it.
And then just since we're on the youth football subject, I like the NFL has a sponsored youth football league that is flag football, and it teaches these kids the same things as they would learn in full contact youth football, just minus the hitting.
That's great because these kids, when potentially if playing the full contact like that, concussions and things like that, where it's just flag football, okay, yeah, you might run into each other, but you're not trying to tackle. It's just like, oh, I didn't see you, and boom, there you are. But that's a great thing though.
They're at such a young age. If all they're supposed to be doing at the early days and the early years of youth football is to learn how to throw if you're the quarterback, learn how to catch if you're the wide receiver, learn how to run if you're the running back, and learn how to play defense if you're on defense, or learn how to protect the quarterback if you're on the line, and learn how to read the playbook, why do you need to learn to tackle?
Hey, I mean, I know, I want to say, I know down about maybe an hour south of us, they have actual flag football leagues for kids. And
the local Y has one.
Oh, do they? Okay.
It's part of the NFL.
Oh, I didn't know that the local Y had that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, that's great to have. I mean, like you said, it teaches the fundamentals of everything with minus the physical contact that could seriously hurt a child.
Because I can tell you right now, we went to school with a guy. He graduated with me. We went to school with a guy who I think in high school, when I graduated with him, he might have had 6 or 8 concussions from playing football growing up.
I mean,
how is that? Now, obviously, you hate to say that was 2003, but it was 2003, and we didn't have the information we have now. But in today's world, with the information we have on concussions, why is it still okay? Like, why is having kindergartners playing full contact football an okay thing in youth sports?
Now, in your opinion, what age would be good for contact sports, like contact football? Because also now, mind you, in hockey, in high school hockey, there is hitting, there's checking, but not from behind. From my understanding, because I know there's a couple of games that were before ours that there were some pretty good hits, and no penalties were called. So that's where I'm assuming it from. Whether or not that's the rule, whether or not it has changed, that's a good question.
I don't know if I'm the authority to give an answer on this. I'm giving my opinion on
well,
this.
Well, it's opinion. This is not saying like your answer is the overall. Here it is. That's what it is. That's the standard. No, this is just an opinion here. Whether it be like midgets, ponies, peewees, high schoolers. What's your thought on it?
I would say at least 12, junior high age, so that you are prepared to play high school football where it is full contact.
That to me is a good answer as well. It's a good age to, like you said, because if you're in,
because
like,
you got to think,
these kids that just like can barely, the helmet's bigger than they are, what's that going to do for them?
Right. There was a kid we saw on one of the teams we played 2 years ago where he was, do you remember the Little Giants?
Mm-hmm.
Where the skinny kid was like just helmet and shoulder pads?
Yeah.
There was a kid on the Pee Wee B team for this other town. He was like maybe 3 feet tall, and he was just helmet and shoulder pads.
Oh, jeez.
Right.
What that? Why?
But like that's why I think like junior high and middle school age is the perfect age to learn tackling, because by that point, most of these kids have been playing since kindergarten, so they have the fundamentals and they've expounded upon it.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with I would say let's say peewees and ponies, flag football, teach them the fundamentals, get the things down, get the positioning, get the plays, learn what's going on. And
Right.
Then, like you said, 12 years old, ish, midgets area, start the hitting, start the contact, teach them how to tackle properly.
Properly is the right word.
Yeah, because a lot of kids, they go for, they're not taught the proper way to hit, where it could really be detrimental if you hit wrong for not only the player being hit, but also the hitter.
Right. And like some of these younger kids, they don't exactly have the coordination to hit properly either.
No.
A lot of them are puppies with big paws and they're tripping over themselves.
I mean, I'm not a big person. Even when I played midget football. I was not good at it because of my size. I was not a big guy, and did that hurt me? Absolutely did. Did I have fun playing when I did play? Because when I played, it was, okay, you're on kickoff and we may throw you in here and there if we're winning or something. You really didn't get to play much if.
And that's one of the sadder things about youth sports too, is the drive for some of these coaches to win. It's detrimental to some of the kids because they want to learn and they want to play. And because it's all about the win, these kids are missing out.
Oh, yeah, because all the coach is going to do is put the kids that are the better players in. They're not going to have, hey, why don't you go out there and give it a whirl? No, because they want to win.
And here's the thing. Anyone in any game can surprise you with what they know and what they can do. And you miss out on that by having kids ride the bench because you personally don't believe in them.
Oh yeah, and what does it say to the player?
It says you're not good enough.
Exactly.
And that's not right for any kid in youth sports to feel like they're not good enough.
Oh no, it should be, hey, you want to give it a whirl? Go ahead.
Exactly.
Give it a try, learn it. Because how is a kid going to know what he's doing if he's not taught it? If he's not putting it into a game form? You can practice all you want, but putting it in a game form, how's the kid going to learn it?
Exactly.
You can run the play X amount of times during practice, but you're just doing, the repetition at that point.
You're just banging the ball against the wall.
You go up against somebody who you're trying to tackle, or, let's just say tackle, for example. You're going up against somebody who's going to tackle. He's going to try not to get tackled. So, how are you going to learn if you're doing the proper way of doing something? Right. If you're not given that opportunity.
You can't improve if you can't make mistakes.
Exactly. Even playing hockey, when I first started, I made plenty of mistakes, but I learned from them. So just keep going.
Right.
But I just feel that youth sports in general just have gone to the wayside of what's important.
I still think at the end of the day, there's far more good than negative. It's just the negative can be so bad that it takes away from the good.
Oh yeah, and that's a big problem, because that's gonna push a lot of these kids out the door of those sports. So yeah, let's just hope that changes. But we all know it probably won't. But we can always.
It always
hope.
Can.
We can always hope. So youth sports, gotta love it. So on that note, that is the end of period 1. So in that case, we'll be right back with the short break.
What's up? My name is Matt Derlin, and I'm here to tell you about the two podcasts that I host on the Club Kayfabe Creative Communities CKCC Radio. The first is called By the Numbers, where I interview wrestlers whose matches I have refereed in my nearly 20-year independent professional wrestling career. Tune in and hear the stories of the matches and the stories behind the matches themselves. My other show is called The A Show, co-hosted by Chris Decker. Each episode, Chris and I are joined by one or two special guests, and together we hold a mock draft based on a specific year and wrestling promotion, and then build cards based on our drafted rosters. You, the listener, decide who has the best card by voting on our Twitter poll each episode. You can hear By the Numbers and The A Show Mondays at 9 a.m., alternating weeks on CKCC Radio, wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, welcome back to the second period. This second period is no-hitters, perfect games in baseball history. Now, what a lot of people don't know is what's the difference between a no-hitter and a perfect game. Where a perfect game, now Jason, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, a perfect game is 27 batters up, 27 down. No batter gets on base. That's pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, the short, the quick and easy of it is a game in which all the batters from one team are retired in order with no one reaching base.
Yeah. So where a no-hitter, a walk, a hit by pitch, that's just a no-hitter because, person's on base, there's no hits yet.
Right.
Which either one is hard to reach. There hasn't been that many no-hitters even in baseball history even. I should say recent as well. Because I think the most, from what I was looking up, the LA Dodgers have the most no-hitters in franchise history of 26.
Yeah, and I like let's give that website a plug, no-hitters.com. Because they track it all the way back to like the original team. So like for the Dodgers, it goes back to the Brooklyn Atlantics. For the Phils, it goes back to the Quakers, the Braves, the Boston Red Caps.
The Cleveland Bluebirds, the Cleveland Naps, the Houston Colt 45s, the New York Highlanders. I mean, it really tracks back.
Yeah, I really
distance. I
appreciate that. I think that's great.
Where the Milwaukee Brewers, the Seattle Pilots, Tampa Bay Rays, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. So this site really tracks it far. For the record,
as a Unawatch nerd, the Seattle Pilots uniforms were really freaking sweet. Just got to throw that out there.
Yeah, I need to look that up then. Now, also, what's nice is with this website, if you click on, let's say, the Phillies, it says the date, the score, and who was the pitcher, which I thought was neat.
Well, the pitcher would be the most important thing.
Well, if it's back then though, because like the first one was Charlie Ferguson of the Philadelphia Quakers, 1885, where they played the Providence Grays, and the Quakers won 1-0 at Recreational Park in Philly. So it gives you that much of a history, like where was it played, the score, the date. I mean, 1885 for your first one, and it shows the Quakers. I mean, that's pretty cool for a site to actually keep that, that track. I can remember, since we're on the Phils, I can remember watching Hallidays as it happened in May of 2010. I was going to say, you said May. I was like, which one? But then you said May. And actually, I will tell you this. On my I still have the game on my PS3. Oh, jeez. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, because that was his perfect game. That was his perfect game. So, and then the same year in the playoffs, he had a no-hitter. So I have a replica of the lineup card for that game. Oh, nice. Jamie I think she went to KOP with her friends, obviously, to go to Cheesecake Factory, which I will agree, it's some darn good food. And she picked never ate there.
It's good. If you pick the right thing, you'll get good food. The cheesecake is always delicious. They don't make the one I like anymore, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, it is. Okay, so the Dutch apple streusel cheesecake was freaking amazing.
Got to go to food.
And you know what? The fact that they don't make it annoys the crap out of me to this day because it was delicious. I'm fat. But
Just
anyway,
put in a complaint.
But anyway, she went to Modell's, and I think she snagged me a rally towel. And then because she bought Phillies merchandise, they included a replica of every purchase of Phillies merchandise that weekend. They included a replica of the lineup card from the postseason no-no.
Oh, nice. Nice. Because I remember watching both those games, and I remember watching Cole Hamels get his no-hitter in Chicago.
So,
and I mean, like I said, this site really goes back, like I said, to the first one.
No, not to. I know we gotta we're actually gonna talk about no-hitters, but just for me as a fan, and I mean no disrespect to you as a hockey fan, but to me a no-hitter is more. I'm more on the edge of my seat with a no-hitter than I am a shutout in hockey.
I could see that.
I feel like there's so much more that could go wrong with a no-hitter in baseball than with a shutout in hockey.
I agree with that. But then again, though, there has been Brian Boucher when he played for Arizona. I think he went 5 games without letting in a goal.
That's impressive.
So when you have things like that, I mean,
a streak is a totally different thing.
But for me, a no-hitter in baseball is rare to begin with. You rarely have it.
307 over the history of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, since when did Major League Baseball begin? So that's how rare it is. So, yeah, I could see, definitely, I can definitely see that where a no-hitter, a perfect game, can be a nail biter just because of what it is.
And I only use the shutout in hockey because to me, I think they're comparable in that aspect. It's something that you're watching, holding your breath to see it play out. And you hope that, even if it's a team you don't like, you hope that that pitcher or that goalie gets that no-hitter, gets that perfect game, gets that shutout. You're really hoping it doesn't end. And then there's that emotional aspect of it as a fan watching it happen and unfold. So that's why I made the comparison to the shutout.
Just don't say the magic words.
Hey, we saw one and we said it. So.
And it happened. We were in Washington. It was the Flyers and the Caps.
I wasn't talking about that one. I was talking about the Bears. The December 2005 game we went to.
Oh, right. Yep, and sure enough. Yeah. But I remember at the Flyers Caps game, as soon as we yelled, he's going to get a shutout. Even though the Flyers lost, it wasn't a shutout because right after we said it, the Flyers scored a goal. That was funny.
Good times.
But I feel that'd be the same way in baseball with a no-hitter. You just don't want to say, oh, look, a no-hitter. He could get it. Because that's when, superstitions and all that come into play.
Now, because they're so rare, it's crazy to me. Like, the last time the Brewers had a no-hitter was in 1987.
Jeez. Well, think of the first one that was the first. I can't say the first because I'm not sure who actually got the first no-hitter. But, excuse me, the Brooklyn Atlantics AA, Sam Kipler, October 4th, 1884. Yeah, going back that far. 10 innings.
Game ended.
Yes. I mean, that had to be one hell of a pitching duel.
So, okay, worse, and I'm sorry, Indians fans, their last no-hitter was in 81. That's not even in our lifetime.
Now, is that 1881 or 1981?
1981.
Ah, gotcha. Because, with the ones we just said, they're 1884. Just didn't,
Well, Eddie Harris had that really great game in '88 against the Yankees going into the postseason with that magical season where Ricky Vaughn saved him in the 9th inning.
Just a bit outside.
You don't steal Joe Boo's rum. That's all I know.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
It's very bad to steal Joe Boo's rum.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. Oh, good Lord. Well, thinking about these teams that just had one in their history. The Padres, the Mets, the Rays, the Rockies, the Blue Jays, the Brewers. And really it wasn't even, like, let's say for the Rays, it wasn't even the Rays. Or no, yeah, it was. Sorry. Because it just, when it said what it was.
I don't care if they were the Devil
Blue
Rays
Devils.
or the Rays. They're still the Rays. But the thing with the Rays, I mean, they're still a relatively young team in the scope of professional baseball, especially in Major League Baseball. I mean, a team that came out in '98 compared to like the Phillies, who came out in 1883.
Yeah, just a bit there.
a little new in their franchise.
Tad. It's just a tad new. But with this website, it definitely gives a full breakdown of the history of the no-hitter, like how many each team has, and like we said earlier, who they previously were, like all the way through. Like the Oakland Athletics were the Philadelphia Athletics, then the Kansas City Athletics before they went to Oakland. So it definitely gives a nice history on that team.
Okay, so you were asking, or you mentioned the you don't know which is the first no-hitter in professional baseball. So it's there's controversy, I would assume. The first professional no-hitter, but it's not recognized by MLB, was Joseph Borden for the Philadelphia White Stockings in 1875.
Ooh.
The first one recognized by Major League Baseball is George Washington Bradley of the St. Louis Brown Stockings in 1876.
Brown Stockings. That's a hell of a name.
Being 1876, they probably ate something that might have had just a little bit more spice than they're used to. That's a horrible dad joke. Ugh. They look like Helen Brown. Oh,
jeez, here we go. Here we go.
That's used in 2 episodes now. That's too many, and that's my fault.
We don't have nice things. But
This is how you get. Do you want ants? Because this is how you get ants.
Now we're going Archer. Here we go. Yeah, I do find it funny with the Chicago Cubs. It has the Chicago White Stockings, Chicago Colts, and the Chicago Orphans. That's a hell of a baseball name.
That is a hell of a baseball name.
Cincinnati Redlegs.
Yeah, they were let me see if I can remember this right. I want to say I know that they changed their name for a little bit in the early 50s because of the Red Scare that was going on in America with the Soviets. So I want to say they might have been the Redlegs during that time period. Obviously, we know that my Cincinnati Reds knowledge isn't exactly the greatest. It's in no disrespect to Reds fans, but we all clearly know I'm a Phillies fan. But I want to say they were the Redlegs during the 1950s.
Yeah, that's just an interesting name, though. Redlegs, I just really couldn't think of like wow, but hey.
Yes.
Love these names.
They were the Redlegs, for 1 year.
Well, there you go.
So,
1 year? What year was that?
Mr. Redleg. I'm sorry. The mascot, Mr. Redleg, lasted for 1 year. They were the Redlegs from 1953 to 1959.
Okay.
Well, so that fits what I was thinking thinking aloud on the show.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look up the mascot here.
Well, you've seen the Reds mascot.
Okay, yeah, okay. I was drawing a blank there for a second. So it was basically he never changed, just the name.
He named it for a little bit, yeah.
Gotcha on that one.
He kind of looks like the Pringles guy and the Natty Boh guy.
Yeah, definitely the Pringles guy. Definitely just don't get your hands stuck in the chip bag. The bottle.
Now we got a Clerks reference. It's a good night.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Salsa Shark.
I'm supposed to be here today.
I understand that on a deep level.
Could be worse.
It smells like shoe polish.
Right? See when they expire.
Oh, jeez.
Are we going this direction now? Are we really? So, but yeah, the no-hitters are definitely something rare. Definitely nice to, like you said earlier, be at the edge of your seat with, just because of what it gives.
They are a thing of beauty to watch unfold. And the no-hitter is one of like the greatest things about baseball. It captures the human emotion as a spectator, and it captures the human emotion of the athletes on the field.
Oh yeah, because they all charge the pitcher like it's a championship game.
It's just like they're kids again.
Exactly. Now, I just think either way, whether it be a no-hitter or a perfect game, it's just that emotion of you're on the edge of your seat. Once you start hitting now, what inning do you start where it's like, oh boy, here we go. I mean, I would say the seventh.
I would say the seventh as well. I think before we wrap this up, I think no-hitters are going to be rarer and rarer because these teams are really watching pitch counts. Like, I was surprised the other night when Wheeler went over 100.
Yeah, that was shocking.
Especially like compared to 10 years ago when Charlie was having frickin' Halladay go 100 plus every outing. They really watch these guys' pitch counts in their arms now. So I think the no-hitter is going to be rarer and rarer as time goes on.
Oh, yeah. Well, what year was it? Just look it up here. Well, the Phillies' 12th no-hitter in 2014 against the Braves. I mean, that was a 5-pitcher.
It was a combined no-hitter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was 4. It was 4 pitchers. Cole Hamels, he went 6. So yeah, Cole Hamels went 6, and everybody else went 1. So it's like, do you get excited for that? Like if it's a multiple pitcher no hitter, or is it more exciting? I feel it's more exciting for if it's just one pitcher.
I agree with that.
Rather than you have like 4 pitchers.
I agree with that because I think that's far more. Not that a combined no hitter isn't exciting. I just think that a no hitter or a perfect game with an individual pitcher is far more exciting and engaging. Because at that point, by the 7th inning, there's a really good possibility it's going to happen.
Yeah, especially if that pitcher's on.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, that's like I said. I just feel it's more exciting with one pitcher than it is with 4 or 5 or more. So, on that note, that is the end of period 2. So we'll be right back after this short break.
Baseball fans, check out the Baseball Together podcast. Your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Broogie Blue Eyes, present new episodes for the entire baseball family every Tuesday. Available on all your favorite podcast apps and YouTube. Come join our baseball family where we do baseball together.
Welcome back to the third period. Last week we did a little tournament we started for sports spirits. Well, last episode we did baseball. So at the end, the winner of the baseball beard was Charlie Blackmon at 57%, edged out Bryce Harper at 43%. That's pretty good, pretty close there.
Yeah, I will be honest. I was surprised Harper made it to the finals. He was my pick from the get-go. Personally, I didn't outright say he was my pick. I definitely thought it would come down to him, Blackmon, and Arrieta. But I figured if it was ever going to be Harper versus one of them, he was out. And I was clearly right. He was out against Blackmon in the finals. So Charlie Blackmon now moves on into the final four of the Not Another Podcast Best Beard in Pro Sports Tournament.
So this week, it's NBA.
And I think we have 6 strong contenders to be the best beard in the NBA.
This is going to be interesting.
So let's start off with Anthony Davis, who is our first nominee for the best beard in the NBA. First off, that is a glorious playoff beard for the NBA. I love that the NBA's gotten on to the playoff beard.
About time.
You were never going to see Jordan with a playoff beard, but these dudes now, they do the beard and they do it strong. Anthony Davis got those Bert eyebrows, man. He looks like Bert from Sesame Street with those eyebrows.
Bert.
I'm not hating on him. I'm not hating on the eyebrows. I'm just saying, if I was making the money he was, I would probably just Gillette them with a razor.
But I don't think he really cares because he's making that much money.
I think he has no cares whatsoever, and that's cool. I can respect that a lot. But he got a really good playoff beard.
It has a little length to it.
It has some good
which is
length.
a typical which is a typical playoff beard.
It's got some fluff to it, which is always appreciated. It works. I mean, he doesn't there's some dudes who have beards that they don't look right.
That they just can't pull it off. It's all spotted and matted.
They look like Joe Dirt.
Pretty much.
But he looks good with his beard. It works with the eyebrows.
Don't you mean eyebrow?
Eyebrow. He got obviously you guys will see the picture on YouTube, but for those of you who listen to us and don't watch us on YouTube, he got the goggles on. He's holding the trophy. He looks like a champion.
And yeah, he definitely can rock that beard. That's for sure. Where some players they have a beard, they just don't look right with it. But he fits it.
So our next nominee is Tyson Chandler. His beard kind of got the same thing that Dallas Keuchel had in the MLB group. It's a lot of length.
Yeah.
But the sides are pretty null and void. He got a strong mustache though. Look at that thing. That
thing's wild.
That is like 1900 strongman mustache right there.
Yeah, you're almost expecting it to curl, just curl, do the handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're expecting it.
I'm legit expecting him to pick up some barbells that are just big giant metal balls on the end of a rod with the way that looks. Right,
and just like those cartoons.
Yes, exactly. It's not. I'm not saying it isn't a strong beard. I'm just saying, like Keuchel, it's a lot of length.
Yeah, it has length, and it's like I said with the mustache. It's yeah, it's there.
Not a bad one by any means.
No, but it's wild. Just with that, how big that mustache is. Where you see a lot of the beards are a trimmed mustache down, but this one's not.
I can respect that though. I can respect the full mustache with the beard. I just wish the sides were a little more in conjunction with the length of the chin.
Wait, he looks like he's going to eat his mustache.
That happens.
We're already eating it.
God help if he drinks some milk.
Ooh, I need a snack.
There you go.
I mean, geez.
So next up, our third nominee, is probably the favorite. We're gonna go with James Harden.
Yeah, no, that's
a beard.
Yeah,
that is a beard.
he rocks that. It's there. It's just out there. It's a bush. It's there.
It is.
That's a beard. You're waiting for something to fly out of it.
That is a thing of beauty right there. That is commitment to the beard.
It's a pillow.
It could be for flights. That would be great.
Who needs a pillow?
Just put it on the tray in front of you and nuzzle, and you're good to go.
Just so occasionally, just pet your baby bird that you have sitting in there, and on your way, or just pull out a snack.
I think if people think of a bearded NBA player, they think of him immediately. His beard is strong.
He rocks it.
Well proportioned. It's not
spotted.
Right. It's not long in one area and not in others. I mean, this is a tremendous freaking beard.
Rocks it. Especially like you said, it's a full beard. It's not like you said, it's not proportioned wrong or like oddly. It's it's full.
And dare I say, this might be this if he wins the NBA, his beard might be the one to win the whole thing.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a challenge.
Because I'm already thinking comparing it to Blackman.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
Well, Blackman was just wild. Like he sticks his finger in an electric, in a light socket or something. Where his is full.
Yeah.
So I mean, compared to
very lumberjack like.
Yeah, lumberjack. That's it. I was trying to think of a word to kind of also describe. But yeah, no, lumberjack. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so
he definitely. That's definitely going to be a hard one to beat.
So our fourth nominee for the NBA is going to be Kyle O'Quinn. And I think his beard is very similar to Arrieta's.
Yeah.
It's not too long. It's very full, proportioned really well. Again, very much like Arrieta's beard in the MLB group.
Yeah, I agree. But it's definitely full. I mean, it's not as big as James Harden, but it's definitely there.
No, and I would say for the same thing with Arrieta's beard, with his beard, it doesn't always have to be a long beard to be a great beard.
No, it doesn't have to be a great one, or I should say a big one. It just has to be like just has it has to be formed and full. Not like it like we said earlier with the other ones, matted and things like that. So, but yeah, that's definitely a full beard. That's for sure.
So moving on, our fifth nominee will be Jalen Brown. It's a good beard. I would say it's kind of in the same ratio as like Harper's beard. It's very well maintained.
Yeah. Yes. I was gonna say very upkept.
It's a good beard. It's a classic beard. It might be the sleeper pick for the NBA. It might be the spoiler.
Yeah, because we didn't know about Harper going. We didn't expect him to go as far as he did.
No, and I think that says. I think with this tournament, what we're finding out is people prefer maybe not always a longer beard, but a fuller beard compared to a longer beard. So that's why I think
full and maintained.
Yes. So I think he has a really solid chance of going to be the best beard in the NBA, just based on the overall look of his beard.
Oh yeah, like I said, pretty much he can be compared to Harper with how maintained and still full it is.
Yes, agreed wholeheartedly. All right, and our final nominee for the NBA is Jonas Valanciunas.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. He got a strong chin on that beard.
It's there. It's like it's trimmed up the sides where it's not like it's bushed out.
I think it's a little too long on the cheek side, on the side of the face. Like he almost shaves it in this area here. But the chin is really strong on this one, and he got the full mustache to go with it. So
All right.
over my shoulder, you can see Dallas Keuchel with his length of beard, but the mustache is super trimmed. Whereas I think Jonas here got a full mustache with the chin. So to me, it negates the lack of the side.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's full of, like, you know, like I said, it has the chin. That's definitely good length, you know, for that one. Yeah, I think this one also could be a sleeper one too.
I agree. I agree with that. I think,
you know,
I think compared to MLB, these are 6 really strong contenders. I felt like at MLB we had 6 good contenders, 3 really strong ones. I think in the NBA's case, we have 6 really strong contenders to be the best beard in the NBA.
Oh yeah, I mean they're definitely strong. Definitely strong ones. I mean, it's definitely going to be an interesting how people are going to pick these.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I appreciated every person who took time to vote and comment on the poll. Like we said at the beginning, we really appreciate all your interaction with us online. It lets us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. And seeing so many people vote, I've seen people share them. So, I mean, it was getting out there. Bring that enthusiasm this time. Just like last time, the first poll will post after the posting of the episodes. You can listen to the episode. You can watch the episode and get an idea of who you want to vote for. And then in between recordings, we will have the polls up, and you, the listener, can go on our Facebook page and vote for who you think has the best beard in the NBA.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to have the video, or I should say we're going to have the pictures right between us so you can see who you're voting for and what they look like so you can judge for yourself. So that's also going to be there as well.
Yeah, and I do include pics of the players in the poll so they can actually look at the picture before they vote too. We pretty much give you every chance we can to make sure you see who you're voting for before you even vote on who it is.
I kind of need to do that.
But man, I really do. I think these are 6 strong contenders.
Yeah, it's definitely
for the best beard in NBA.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting on that, just because of, those are pretty strong. Those are pretty solid.
The only person I think is a lock to go to the finals in this tournament, or at least in the NBA portion, is Harden.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think he's the only potential lock, and then we got 5 strong contenders to go against him.
And some might be a sleeper. Who knows? He may get knocked out in the first round.
He could. I mean,
like I said, we didn't expect Harper to go to the finals.
No, I thought Harper has a great beard. It's really well maintained. And I think that, again, like I said, our listeners clearly appreciate a full, well-maintained beard over pure length like Turner's beard in the MLB.
Yeah.
He had like the full Amish thing going on.
So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting on how that's going to turn out. So, yeah, go on our Facebook page, vote, and then we'll be posting the results.
And we will share that on all social media. We'll share it on Twitter, on Instagram. It'll be on YouTube. We got you covered. If you want to vote, you'll be able to vote.
It'll be everywhere. So, on that note, that is the end of period 3. Gotta love the horn.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this plays out. I really watching it play out for the MLB one was awesome.
Yeah, that was neat to watch, just because that was you just didn't know how that was going to go. And like we said, we didn't expect Harper to be going to the finals.
No, and for me, again, it goes back to just seeing so many people participate and interact. And that's the big reason why we're doing this is to get feedback from you guys, to see what you think as the listener, who your pick is, and who you pick will be our official best beard in sports, in professional sports.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be, like I've said, this NBA one's going to be very interesting.
I think this is going to be the close one out of all 4 sports leagues.
Oh yeah, I agree with that one. That's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting.
So I guess it's time for some plugs here. So next Monday, I will be in the first round of the Season 1 Tournament of Champions for the A Show. It'll be me, and I will be going against Adam Van. We will be drafting the 1993 roster of ECW.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because the 93 ECW roster is hit or miss. It is not the ECW most people think of when they think of ECW. So lots of guys winding down their careers on that roster in 93.
Well, you said it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I kind of have an idea on what I'm going to do. I have a game plan, far more of a game plan than I did last time. So just got to see how that plays out. I will say I made a point to listen to the first matchup of round 1 that posted on Monday, and it was a lot of fun to listen to, and it kind of inspired me. I highly recommend anyone listening who's a wrestling fan, check out this past week's episode of the A Show where it was Joe Sposto and Radley from the Stepdads. That is a tag team, actually, the Stepdads. Great gimmick to be, stepdad is the gimmick.
Movie.
Yeah, that too. I think their intro music, it begins with the theme of Full House and then kicks into another song. So that's pretty cool. But they had a great show. They both booked really great cards, and it was a lot of fun to listen to. You can catch me every month on the Philly Baseball Together podcast that Brad referenced a few times on our special episode, 17.5. That's with my co-host Tori. Once a month, we'll bring you our thoughts on the previous month in the Phillies season. We got a lot to talk about with April. A lot of good, a lot of bad.
A lot of ups and downs.
That is under the Baseball Together Podcast Network umbrella, and you can find that wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. I do know that at some point in the future, me and you will be on the Baseball Together podcast. That is something they've already been talking about.
That's going to be great.
Yeah. It's like going to be part 2. It's going to be part 2. That's what it's going
to be the other half. It's going to be the other half to make it the rest of the way.
Oh man. So anyone who listened to 17.5, there was an entire show that was not recorded that you guys missed out on. Let me just tell you.
Well, it would have been a lot longer show.
Oh, it would have been extra innings. We went deep into the night on that episode.
Well, I think we ended at 1:30 in the morning.
I want to say 1:30, 2 o'clock. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was awesome.
You know what it kind of reminded me of? Before we wrap up all the plugs, it kind of reminded me of just sitting at the fire at your parents' house.
Oh yeah.
Just talking nonsense.
Realizing what time it is.
Having a good time, laughing a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, that's all it's about. Having fun, relaxing, and just with friends, just like last week, just with friends, just laughing hysterically.
Oh man. Idea while we're recording. Maybe we call these special episodes the bonfire sessions.
Oh, there you go. That'd definitely work. I like that.
I will have to go in and edit. I have to go on Anchor and edit the name of that episode now. But
you don't have to. We'll just start it for next time.
Moving forward, the bonfire sessions. I like that. That's
moving forward. So,
well, the next time we have a guest like that, we'll have the bonfire sessions.
There you go.
So with that, Thank you for joining us for episode 18 of the Not Another Sports Podcast. You can find us online at facebook.com/notanothersportspod. Please feel free to like, comment, or message us. Interact on the poll. We've had a lot of really good feedback with the poll. The Not Another Sports Podcast is available for streaming or download at anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Please do not forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Finally, you can catch us on YouTube. Typically comes out a couple hours after the audio edition. That's just because we got to edit this stuff. We can't just throw up the raw feed for you guys to see. We got to look good for you.
A lot of makeup.
Lots of makeup. So much. I'm caked in it, let me tell you. So much powder. I'm like Ron Burgundy over here. Anyway, but you can find us on YouTube. Please, if you go and watch us on YouTube, comment, like us, subscribe to us. You get to watch us and see the visual aspect of the show, not just listen to us. With that, I'm Jason.
I'm David.
We'll talk to you next time.
Have a good one.